Hi everybody, it's Sunday night. Thanks for joining us here online. Meteorologist Ryan Breton with the latest on the storm moving through the state. By far the biggest concern statewide will be the rain. It's a widespread 2 to 4 inches of rain at least, and there will likely be some spots that pick up over 5, 6, maybe close to 7 inches of rain by the time this storm is over. There is a wind angle of this storm, but it really is just southern and eastern Connecticut that will see the strongest winds this time around. If you're farther north and west, the wind will not be as strong. And then on the backside of the storm, it could end as a little bit of snow, believe it or not, in the hills on Monday. So flood watch up for the whole state. Concerned about streams and rivers, it'll be on the rise, and then there could be some flooding of poor drainage areas too. Some street closures possible Monday morning, especially near any streams and brooks that may overfill their banks and flow out onto those streets, so something to be aware of. The wind, as you can see though, is not a statewide concern. It's really just southern and eastern Connecticut where those gusts may be strong enough to cause some power outages and some wind damage. It will be gusty everywhere, but the strongest of the winds in southern and eastern Connecticut. We've had waves of rain coming through this afternoon, kind of varying in intensity, at times pouring, at other times not so much, but we'll widen out the view, and you can see there's a lot more coming from the west and south, and this is all going to be coming through overnight into Monday morning. So here's a look at the timeline. You can see we've got some heavy rain coming through 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and this is really the front that will be dividing the warm air from the cooler air. We get into the 60s tonight in southern and eastern Connecticut, while it will be cooler on the northwest side of the state. The strongest winds will occur in this warmest air, which is why the wind damage or the potential power outage is really not a statewide issue. It's more southern and eastern Connecticut where we get into that warmer air. That's where the strongest winds out of the south will be. We'll bring you through to 1, 2, 3 in the morning. The waves of rain keep moving through. And at this point, we may have some flooding issues, especially in central and eastern Connecticut, where it looks like the heaviest rain will be most consistent. By about 5 in the morning, the heaviest starts moving out, the temperatures begin dropping, and we could end this as some wet snowflakes in some spots briefly Monday morning. Not really expecting any accumulation, but it just goes to show how we may go from 60s to some snow flurries in a couple of hours. Here's a look at the wind, and again, I think this does a pretty good job highlighting southern and eastern Connecticut with the areas that may get some wind gusts 45 to 55 miles per hour, and especially the shoreline of New London County. That's where the winds may be a bit more persistent with the possibility of some gusts to 55. So southern and eastern parts of the state, that's where the power outage risk really exists. Then it's gusty for all of us out of the northwest on the backside of the storm Monday. Our map here for wind really hasn't changed since Friday when we started talking about this. If you're in the red shaded area, that matches up with the advisory and the wind warning. That's where we may have some outages happen overnight. Can't rule out some inland, but 30 to 45 mile per hour winds usually more manageable. Here's the latest look at the potential rainfall, and this particular model is highlighting parts of central and eastern Connecticut, the potential for 5 to 7 inches of rain. We've already had reports out of Guilford with 2 inches of rain as of 6 o'clock, and Higginham closing in on 1.5 inches. So we keep this up, there will be some 5, 6, 7 inch totals, and I think they're favored in this corridor. Elsewhere, it's 2 to 4 inches of rain. There can be flooding just about in any part of the state, but it looks like the highest risk for flooding Monday morning will be in this corridor, just where that model showed the heaviest rain of central and eastern Connecticut. And that's where we'll likely have streams and rivers on the rise, some coming out of their banks, and there could be some flooding of streets and poor drainage areas too. That is the latest for now. We will be live on the Fox 61 News at 10 with the latest updates as this storm is evolving. Have a great night and stay safe.